Hello and welcome to College Success. My name is Matthew Poole, and today we're going over Chapter 5, Reading and Note-Taking. I want to thank OpenStax for providing this free resource to students. You can find a link to the free textbook down below in the description, and thank you, OpenStax. Let's begin. Figure 5.1. Each of us reads and records information in our own way. Today we're going to be going over 5.1, the nature and types of reading, 5.2, effective reading strategies, and 5.3, taking notes. We're going to look into discussing the way reading differs in college and how to successfully adapt to that change, as well as we'll look into demonstrating the usefulness of strong note-taking for college students. All right, reading and consuming information are increasingly important today because of the amount of information we encounter. Not only do we need to read critically and carefully, but we also need to read with an eye to distinguishing fact from opinion and identifying solid resources. Reading helps us make sense of the world, from simple reminders to pick up milk to complex treatises on global concerns. We read to comprehend, and in doing so, our brains expand. Biological changes to your brain actually happen when you read, and it lingers. As we deliberately work to become stronger readers and better note takers, we are both helping our current situation and enhancing our abilities to be successful in the future. Take advantage of all the study aids you have at hand, including human, electronic, and physical resources, to increase your performance in these crucial skill sets. It improves your thinking, your vocabulary, and your ability to make connections between disparate parts, which are all parts of critical thinking. Reading volume, how much you read, made a significant contribution to multiple measures of vocabulary, general knowledge, spelling, and verbal fluency. 5.1. The nature and types of reading. What are the pros and cons of online reading? How can distinguishing between reading types help you academically and personally? And how can you best prepare to read for college? Nature and types of reading. Reading to introduce new content and reading to comprehend familiar content. Figure 5.2. A bookstore or library can be a great place to explore. Aside from books and resources you need, you may find something that interests you or helps with your coursework. 5.2. Effective reading strategies. What methods can you incorporate into your routine to allow adequate time for reading? What are the benefits and approaches to active reading? Do your courses or major have specific reading requirements? Number 1, allow adequate time for reading. Number 2, determining reading speed and pacing. Number 3, do your courses or major have specific reading requirements? Number 4, scheduling set times for active reading. And number 5, practicing recursive reading strategies. Figure 5.3. If you plan to make time for reading while you commute, remember that unexpected events like delays and cancellation could impact your concentration. Practicing recursive reading strategies, figure 5.4. The 6 elements of recursive reading should be considered as a circular, not linear process. We have applying, accessing prior knowledge, asking questions, inferring and implying, learning vocabulary, and evaluating. Strategies for reading in college disciplines. Skimming, active reading strategies, the SQ3R reading strategy, survey, question, read, recite, and review. Strategies for reading in college, reading primary and secondary sources, researching topic and author, and understanding your own present ideas on a topic. Analysis question. Can you think of times when you have struggled reading college content for a course? Which of these strategies might have helped you understand the content? Why do you think those strategies would work? 5.3. Taking notes. How can you prepare to take notes to maximize the effectiveness of the experience? What are some specific strategies you can employ for better note-taking? Why is annotating your notes after the note-taking session a critical step to follow? Written notes help you organize your thoughts, enhance your memory, and participate in class discussion. and they prepare you to respond successfully on exams. Preparing to take notes, managing and note-taking systems like on a computer, paper/pen, note cards, and textbook. Figure 5.9. Strong notes build on your prior knowledge of a subject, help you discuss trends or patterns present in the information, and direct you toward areas needing further research or reading. Analysis question. Do you currently have a preferred way to take notes? When did you start using it? Has it been effective? And what other strategies might work for you? Figure 5.10. The best notes are the ones you take in an organized manner. Frequent review and further annotation are important to build a deep and useful understanding of the material. Note-taking strategies, we have the Cornell method, outlines, chart or table, concept mapping and visual note-taking, practicing decipherable shorthand, and annotating notes after initial note-taking session. Let's look at the Cornell method first. Just write on one side of the page, the right-hand notes column. This will help later when you are reviewing and revising your notes. During your note-taking session, use the notes column to record information over the main points and concepts of the lecture. Skip lines between each idea in this column. The Cornell method provides a straightforward, organized, and flexible approach. Practice the shortcut abbreviations covered in the next section and avoid writing incomplete sentences. Don't make your notes too cryptic, but you can use bullet points or phrases equally well to convey meaning. We do it all the time in conversation. If you will need to expand the notes you are taking in class, but you don't have time, you can put reminders directly in the notes by adding and underlining the word expand by the ideas you need to develop more fully. As soon as possible after your note-taking session, preferably within 8 hours, but no more than 24 hours, read over your notes column and fill in any details you missed in the class, including the places where you indicated you wanted to expand your notes. Then, in the recall column, write any key ideas from the corresponding notes column. You can't stuff this smaller recall column as if you're explaining or defining key terms. Figure 5.12. This sample set of notes in the Cornell method is designed to make sense of a large amount of information. The process of organizing the notes can help you retain the information more effectively than less consistent methods. Let's look to the left, academic essay elements, the topic. So the topic establishes context, limits scope of essay, introduces issue/problem. We have the thesis. So the thesis is the central argument or point of paper, arrives early in the paper, usually toward end of the first paragraph, maybe a little bit later in longer papers. Focused, clear, and specific, and reflects writer's position on the topic/issue. Supporting details. So supporting detail paragraphs includes each paragraph has a specific topic. Clarify, explain, illustrate, and expand on the topic. And it provides evidence, quotes, data, and references. Cite everything properly. Some of your classes may use MLA versus APA, so make sure to be attentive to what the professor needs as far as the formatting. And conclusion. Conclusion includes tie back to the introduction/thesis, shows how details supported the argument, why is it important, and point to implications/outcomes, but don't introduce entirely new ideas. Use the structure, but don't follow it too rigidly. The most important pieces are a strong thesis and a good evidence to back it up. The conclusion should not just summarize. Take it a little further. Outlining. So first, dogs. We've got the main topic, usually general. We've got German Shepherd, the concept related to the main topic. We've got the 1, 2, 3, the protection, the assertive, the loyal, and under protection, supporting info about the concept. And then in section B, we've got the Waymariner, which is so the concept related to the main topic. They're family friendly, active, and healthy. Okay, and then we've got cats, which is the main topic. And then section A, Siamese. You would just continue on with this sort of numbering and indenting format to show the connections between main ideas, concepts, and supporting details. Whatever details you do not capture in your note-taking section, you can add after the lecture as you review your outline. Chart or table. Similar to creating an outline, you can develop a chart to compare and contrast main ideas in a note-taking session. Divide your paper into 4 or 5 columns with headings that include either the main topics covered in the lecture or categories such as, we got the example of a chart to organize ideas and categories, we've got the structure, the types, the functions in the body, and the additional notes. Then we've got carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acid. We'd go through all 4 of those sections with each. Concept mapping and visual note-taking, figure 5.13. Concept mapping, sometimes referred to as mind mapping, can be an effective and very personalized approach to capturing information. Practicing decipherable shorthand table. So we have shortcuts, symbol, and their meaning. We've got them separated into 2 graphs here. We're looking at the meaning with, without, within. We've got in that symbol, the number symbol, because B/C. Incorrect versus correct, either an X or a check mark. For different or difference, we just shorten it to diff. ETC means and so on. As soon as possible, ASAP. UK and United States, US and UK. Info for information. Then we have for measurements, foot, inch, 1,000 mile. We can shorten that into FT and IN, K and M. We've got paragraph or new paragraph. Equal, plus, greater, less, divided by for math symbols. And then for in history classes for World War I and II, WW1, WW2. Important can be simplified to IMPT. And for denoting something as significant, or if you want to question something or have a question, you can write down the exclamation point. You can star it or put a question mark, but don't overuse it. Annotating notes after the initial note-taking session, figure 5.14. Annotations may include highlighting important topics, defining unfamiliar terms, writing questions in, underlining or circling key terms, or otherwise marking a text for future reference. Whichever approach you choose, try not to overdo it. Neat, organized, and efficient notes are more effective than crowded or overdone notes. Figure 5.16. Graphics, charts, and graphs, as well as other visual items, are also important to annotate. Not only do they often convey important information, but they may appear on exams or in other situations where you'll need to use or demonstrate knowledge. Returning to your notes. Your personal notes play a significant role in your test preparation. They should enhance how you understand the lessons, textbooks, lab sessions, and assignments. The whole cycle of reading, note-taking in class, reviewing and enhancing your notes, and preparing for exams is part of a continuum you ideally would carry into your professional life. Don't try to take shortcuts. Recognize each step in the cycle as a building block. In summary, reading and note-taking are major elements of college studying and learning. The expectations in college is that you read considerable amounts of text for each subject. You may encounter reading situations, such as professional journal articles and long textbook chapters, that are more difficult to understand than texts you have previously. As you progress through your college courses, you can employ reading strategies to help you complete your college reading assignments. Likewise, you will take notes in college and then need to be complete so you can study and recall the information you learn in lectures and lab sessions. With so much significant information that you need to collect, study, and recall for your college courses, you need to be deliberate in your reading and note-taking. Rethinking. Revisit the questions you answered at the beginning of the chapter, and consider one option you learned in this chapter that might change your answer to one of them. Number 1, to remind you, I am reading on a college level. Number 2, I take good notes that help me study for exams. Number 3, I understand how to manage all the reading I need to do for college. And number 4, I recognize the need for different note-taking strategies for different college subjects. This OpenStax ancillary resource is copyrighted Rice University under a CC by Attribution or 4.0 international license. It may be reproduced or modified but must be attributed to OpenStax Rice University, and any changes must be noted. Thank you, OpenStax, for providing this free resource for students. It is much appreciated. Again, you can find the link to the free textbook down below, and all of the following information was directly from OpenStax free resources. This will conclude Chapter 5 of College Success. I hope to see you in the next one for Chapter 6. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.